Good afternoon, everyone. Dean Williams, chairperson of Wheelchair Football Association here. I'm joined to my left by the championship medal winning captain of Muscle Warriors PFC, Ricken Shah. Ricken, how are you doing?
Hi Dean, yeah, I'm really good, thanks. How are you?
I'm very good, thank you. And my goodness me, the excitement here is ridiculous, isn't it? Because just to fill in the gaps for people who are now starting to join in and follow our stream on YouTube, Ricken and I have the pleasure to commentate on Teesside PFC versus Villa Rockets. That's a massively important game when I give you the context of that in a few moments' time. And on the other court at the same time, we'll be kicking off exactly the same time, will be West Bromwich Albion versus Aspire. A huge game at any time of the season. But the reality of this is we have Teesside and West Bromwich Albion in a straight shootout on either court to decide who's going to be the Optegra Premiership champions for 2024-25. Ricken, how excited are you?
Oh, I'm buzzing for this. At the start of the season, if you gave me this scenario, I would have taken it all day long. You wouldn't have put Teesside maybe not in the mix just yet to win the title, but my God, they've exceeded expectations. They had two massive wins yesterday against Aspire and West Brom. So yeah, it's going to be a great day.
It's an interesting one, isn't it? So we started this weekend, just to fill in a few gaps here, which feels like a long time ago now. Saturday morning, we came to the Lee Westwood Arena at NTU, and we had 5 teams in with a chance of winning the Premiership title. That in itself is unprecedented, and we're now down to 2. And they, as I say, are Teesside and West Bromwich Albion. So just to give the context of that, there's one game remaining. This is it for these guys. Teesside played 21, 17 wins, 3 draws, 1 defeats, goal difference of plus 65, 54 points. West Bromwich Albion locked on exactly the same number of points, 54. Last game for them, 17 wins, 3 draws, 1 defeat. The only thing that differentiates the two is the goal difference, where it's positive by a goal difference of 10 in favour of Teesside. What an extraordinary event here. So West Brom have to better the result of Teesside. It's as simple as that. If Teesside win this game, unless West Brom produce a swing here in terms of goal difference of plus 10, then it's going to be Teesside celebrating the Optegra Premiership title for this season. So we are getting all set. Let me just run through the squads. Let's start with the Villa squad, which will appear on your screen in a few moments' time. You should probably just see on your stream they're just going through and doing their normal kind of warm-ups. We have Bobby Allen, Dave Lewis, Summer Rice, Hamzan Madar, Liam Lynch and Amir Ali. Coach Amir Ali as well. And we'll just get the Teesside one loaded up for you as well. We have Ed Common, Greg Baxter, Dylan Pearson, Mitchell Tinkler, Tyler Reeve, Alistair Hang, and the coaches are Paul Pearson and Owen Swift. So we have quite an atmosphere building within the arena. We are going to schedule these kickoffs to exactly the same time. So just bear with us while we're doing that, and we'll make sure that again, it's quite exciting to think that in 40 minutes or just over's time, we are literally going to be crowning the champions. Who it goes to, I've no idea. So let's sit back and enjoy that. Ricken, while we've got a little bit of time here to the guys finish their warm-ups, just talk us through your success last season for Muscle Warriors. I think I'm right in saying 22 games played, 18 victories, 2 draws. What a fantastic season. Try and put into perspective, if you can, if you've calmed down a bit from the euphoria of last weekend, what that's meant to you and the team.
Yeah, no, we had a rebuilding session in the summer last year. Many players departed our club, Reece Mallet, Dylan Palmer, and I think there was one more if I'm not mistaken. I can't remember off the top of my head, but we brought in 2 young players in George Chippy and Stanley Ball. And then when Hannah Hindley contacted Alan to join, he phoned a few of us up, says, what do you think? And we were like, sign her up now. Did we think that we were going to win the championship? No. Was it ever one of our targets? No. But we started the first weekend with a few wins, and then we just started building from there, and yeah, it's meant a lot.
That's really good to hear, my friend. Well, congratulations again.
Thank you.
Right, we're just simultaneously looking to link the two courts together with the kick-off times. I want this to be absolutely as tense as it can be.
This is exciting. I've never seen anything like this.
Oh, it's amazing, isn't it? So many eyes on the court, either down on court side or up in the gallery. This is it. This is, as they say, this is the season. Certainly for those at the top of the table.
The silence is causing a lot of tension here.
It is, isn't it? Right, we're just about ready. Just about ready. Here we go. Just commentating on the other pitch, Charlie is taking lead commentary alongside Ollie Crawshaw, so we'll be keeping very closely to them. Here goes the applause. Players are set and ready. And we are just about set. Final checks. And we're off.
Tyler Reeve now. He's won a kicking for Teesside. He's been an outstanding player this season for them. Mitch Tinkler, Ed Common. Ed Common battling with Amir Ali. He's won a corner for his team.
Good start, Ricken, for him.
He's been here, he's done it all before.
Yeah. Oh,
Tyler Reeve.
Great cross from Common there. Mitch Tinkler, I've been very impressed with Mitch Tinkler, by the way, this season. I think he's been absolutely superb, one of many superstars for Teesside up until this point. Great shot blocked. First early chance, Ricky.
Yeah, no, they've done well. Yeah, the team's just ticking along nicely. They're finding their passing patterns. Nerves are going to play a part in this, but the experience of Ed Common, you know, Tyler Reeve was at the World Cup final a few years ago. Mitch Tinkler across the box. Played it across again. Tyler Reeve now.
Experience in this Villa Rockets side, though, isn't there, Ricken? So, you know, it's not an easy game, this at all. Dave Lewis there, such an experienced international footballer. They'll cause them problems, I'm sure.
Yeah, I think Villa are a fairly new side this season. You know, Dave Lewis and Bobby Adam coming into the team. But I think they've held their own this year. You know, I think they got to did they get to the WFA semi-final? Yes, they did, because they had a rather incredible result, didn't they, against Teesside. So this will be interesting to see how Teesside approaches. I think you're right. The nerves are and the potential excitement here, it needs to be kept under control, doesn't it, a little bit? But there is that recent history between the two where they beat them in the John Good Group WFA Cup quarter-final, and Villa Rockets managing to win on penalties. So there is a bit of recent history here. Yeah, no, definitely. I think with the result of that, I think Teesside have got a point to prove.
Yeah, definitely. We will keep you abreast of what's going on the other court as well. It still remains West Bromwich Albion 0, Aspire 0. I don't think we'd have to look too hard for anything that happens on the other court, Ricky, because I think the cheer, whichever way it goes, will be very loud.
Yeah, well, I'm definitely going to be watching that game back later on today. Yes. When I get home. Ed Common now. Trying to find the space. Played it across. Tinkler. Ed Common plays it across. Dave Lewis has hit it out.
It's mostly Teesside so far, Ricken, isn't it? Taking the initiative, really.
Yeah, I think it was always going to be like that. I think obviously they know that if they win this game, they're champions.
Yeah.
Barring a miracle in the other court. I think confidence is high. From the two results yesterday.
It's kind of one of the kind of game this where you want to settle the nerves and score early, because of course the longer this goes on level, particularly if things develop on the other court in favour of West Brom, the more anxious these guys will become, you'd have thought. So it's in an ideal world, football's not always like that, but they'd want to nick a goal relatively quickly, I'd have thought.
Yeah, we had a similar situation last weekend where we knew if we won the early morning game on the Sunday, we'd be crowned champions. We got a penalty, and I ended up missing it, and then the nerves just kicked in. When Jacob scored that goal, I was like, thank God for that.
Yeah.
So I understand what these players are going through.
And Villa Rockets trying the other end now. They're trying to force something. Bobby Allen at the end of that. It's been given as a goal kick in the end, but first probably signs of Villa Rockets just trying to get on the ascendancy. Yeah,
no, definitely. They've definitely got something there. You know, it won't be easy for Teesside. Ed Common, Mitch Tinkler, battling with Dave Lewis. Ed Common now, taking the touch, trying to find Mitch Tinkler. Makes the pass, tried to play it back to Ed Common. Common to Tyler Reeve, across the box. Bobby Allen now, trying to switch the play. Dean, what's been your outstanding moment of this season's competition?
I mean, that's such a... People often ask me that, Rick, and it feels like a cop-out. There's just literally so many. At a macro, what I'd call a macro level, the thing that I'm so delighted with is that we, as purely a neutral responsible for governing and growing the sport, is what seems to have happened this year, and it's all down to you players. You've increased the competitive level of our National League, which of course raises our profile, which gets more people interested in it, and it looks like you guys are really enjoying that level of competition as well. So I think, you know, for the Championship, you ended up being victorious, but I mean, how tight was that as we went through the season between you and GBG Knights? And you pulled away in the end, but brilliant quality football is being played. And when we take this as an example, we've got 5 teams I alluded to earlier on, 5 teams that were all able to win the Premiership trophy coming into the final game week. I think that's amazing. So for me, the highlight is the quality that's been apparent across both of the Optegra divisions this season.
Yeah, the standard of play has been incredible this season.
And a personal highlight is giving captains the trophy, as I got to do the honour of doing that for you last week.
And that's a great goal by Tyler Reeve.
That is typical Ed Common and Tyler Reeve in tandem. Set piece. Tyler Reeve just ghosts onto that 1-0, and we were just talking about this, Rickin. That will settle the nerves.
Yeah, no, definitely. Only just over 9 minutes played. Sorry, 8 minutes played, and he's given the side his side a lead now. Now it's all about game management. You know, don't try and go for the second goal. Just keep it calm. But knowing Teesside, they're not going to do that. They're going to push it for more goals, and
Yeah, some finish that. Lovely smart move. That's come straight from the training ground, Rick, I suspect.
Yeah, we've worked on that that type of piece. Tinkler across the box, and it's the second goal.
And that, if it didn't settle the nerves a few moments ago, that certainly will have them well and truly settled now.
They are well on their way now to lifting that Premiership title. Their first one in the club's history.
Got to ask too, I didn't see who assisted that. Did you pick that one up, Rickin?
I think it was Ed Common.
Yeah, wouldn't surprise me. Mitch finished it?
Mitch, yeah.
Yeah, that's. I think they would certainly, based on, for those that are new to Parachair football, particularly in this arena, the two courts are side by side, so they would certainly have heard the cheers on both of those goals.
Yeah, definitely.
West Brom with an awful lot of work to do now.
Just the 12 goals.
Yes, and it doesn't feel possible, that, Rickin, but I'm not going to be the person that says that categorically.
It's almost a goal a minute.
Yes, it would feel like that's a tall order.
Tyler Reeve finds Mitch Tinkler.
Swing and a miss from Dave Lewis. A bit frustrated by that, but they're going to get the throw in, kick in. Goal kick for Teesside. 2-0 to the good. And the other court still remains. Clash of the heavyweights, Aspire 0, West Bromwich Albion 0. And just to reiterate, at this moment in time, if it stays like this, Teesside will be crowned the Optegra Premiership champions.
Yeah, the other match is a preview of the WFA Cup final.
Yes.
To be taking place at the end of June.
And potential, because they're the only two clubs representing England, the potential for that to be the Club World Cup final as well in Paris just before the WFA Cup final.
Yeah, are you going to that event?
I'm going for the back end of it, so I'm hoping the teams progress and do very well, Rickin, but I can't, because of work commitments, can't get there for the whole week, but I will definitely be there towards the back end of it. Free kick to Villa. It'd be interesting if they got one back, Rickin, I think, to test those nerves again.
Yeah, definitely. That was a great attempt by Bobby Allen.
Yeah.
He's a great young little player, Bobby Allen. Definitely one for the future.
Yeah, I think Bobby, I've not had this confirmed. I'm pretty sure that he's on 49 goals. So if he does manage to hit the target, this for them is their last game of the season, then he will finish having scored his 50th goal. Unverified, but I'm pretty sure the source is fairly accurate. But no, he's impressed, isn't he?
Yeah. He's coming to this team and he's held his own.
You're already starting to think and plan for next season, Rickin, I assume? No rest?
Yeah, the plans have already started. We've got our feelers out for players that want to potentially join. Yeah, I'm quite heavily involved in those discussions. And that's a third goal from Tinkler.
There we go. I mean, they are making... We talked about nerves and handling nerves, but ultimately they're making very light work of this, aren't they?
They are. It's amazing to see like this team just tearing an experienced side like Villa Rockets, just tearing them apart.
I just think they've they've matured and grown, haven't they, significantly? So they've had several tests this weekend, and let's be fair, unless something goes horribly wrong here for them, they've passed every test with flying colours. They've just approached this, haven't they, like champions.
Yeah.
They really have. (3-0 to Teesside, champions-elect. In the other court, it still remains 6 minutes, I think there is, or so to go in the first half. Aspire 0, West Bromwich Albion 0.
Am I right saying that this the league winners of this season qualifies for the next Champions League, or is that next season?
Yeah, so I think because the Champions League was held last season, of course, of which Aspire won that and brought that home for the first time an English club has ever held that. It's likely to be 2 years after that, so 2026, I believe, will be the next time the Champions League is played, Ricken. So yes, whoever manages to hold on to the Premiership trophy leading up to that will certainly be front and centre.
Tyler Reeve. Plays it back to Ed Common. Back to Tyler Reeve. Back to Ed. Tries to find Tinkler.
I said it earlier on, Rick, and I've been very impressed with Mitch Tinkler this season. It stood out for me as a player that perhaps he goes about his business quite quietly, but has been very impressive in front of goal as well.
Yeah, I haven't seen much of him, but when I have watched him, he's done very, very well. Tyler Reeve bypasses Dave Lewis, back to Ed Common. Wins inside a kick in. Tyler Reeve, Ed Common, plays it across.
You would have had experience, Ricken, of playing against, I'm sure, both Ed and Tyler Reeve. What's it like to play against the two in tandem? Because they often are positioned, and it doesn't do them a disservice as individual power chair footballers, but together they are quite a force, aren't they?
Yeah, I don't think I ever played against Tyler. I've definitely played against Ed when he was with Northern Thunder. Many times. Yeah, it's always tough playing against him. You know, he's so good at what he does, and he gets those little touches of the ball just to take it away from the opposition. Very hard to read. And he's known as the silent assassin.
Is that what he's known as, silent assassin?
Yeah, he never speaks. He never says anything.
No. Very reserved, isn't he? I think, but let's be fair, he's talking he's done on the court, isn't it, with his power chair? I mean, honestly, some of his talent. I think, didn't John Boulding describe him, didn't he put a post out saying he was mystified by, or whatever adjectives is used to talk about some of the skill when I don't know if you've ever seen it, Ricken, but he did a double touch, which is one of the most extraordinary things I think I've seen. I still don't understand how he actually did what he did and then finished that move off. Just incredible to watch.
Yeah, I think what he did was he flipped the ball with the back of his back wheel.
Yeah.
Which moves it forward, and then he was just swung and hit it. I know it's very hard to do. But yeah, I think John Boulding said that he didn't believe in magic until he met Ed Common.
That's right. That's exactly what he said. I'll tell you what though, just fast forwarding a little bit to the for Nations Cup in September in Italy, the England squad, Adam McAvoy has an embarrassment of riches, doesn't he?
It does.
Sorry, Adam, I keep saying that. I don't want to put you under any more pressure, but there's so many players knocking on the door, and God, we've got some talent, haven't we?
Yeah, no, definitely. Adam's got a real tough challenge to whittle that squad down to 8. Everyone's got their own view on who he should take and who he shouldn't take, and you know, but That's why he's the England manager, to make those tough decisions.
That's true. Do you think before the time is out today, we might see a boom between the two of them, Tyler Reeve and Ed Common?
Oh, for sure. If they get a free kick at the edge of the box, they're definitely doing a boom.
And for our listeners, Rick, we'll have people listening to this for the first time. Just explain the concept of a boom, because you'll say this far better than me.
So a boom is when one player hits the ball at high speed against the other player.
Yeah.
But because the speed is so fast that it sounds like a boom. So that's why it's called a boom.
Ah, there we go. Beautifully articulated.
Tinkler to Common. Tyler Reeve.
Oh, that's
Ed Common. Tinkler to Common. Dave Lewis now. Tinkler. Bobby Allen. Tinkler. 2-on-1 given in favour of Villa.
And Rick, while we're on the subject of any new listeners that are joining us, you've just said 2-on-1. Just explain again in your own brilliant way of doing that what a 2-on-1 is.
2-on-1 is when you have two players against one player, and the ball is in a 3 metre vicinity of the play.
Nice. And if you are in breach of that, free kick given to the other team.
Correct. It's half time on the other court.
Yeah.
I take it it's still 0-0.
Yeah, it is 0-0. I just momentarily had a little glimpse over, and effectively it was. It's half time this court as well. It was a chance for Aspire. So they were knocking on the door then as well. It looks like a very competitive game. On that note, I'm going to try and get Charlie, who's lead commentating on the other game. I'm going to try and get him over to have a quick word so he can kind of join us, Rick. So I didn't mean to try and get his attention. He's still talking at this moment in time. Charlie, can we... Aha! Brilliant. So, Rick, are we okay just to grab your headphones for a sec? Charlie is joining us. So we can see... Hi, Charlie. How are you doing?
I'm very good, thank you.
Good stuff. We can see the score for ourselves. We can pick up the tension, but just talk us through what's happened in the first half with the Aspire West Brom game.
Yeah, so it was a really, really entertaining half, actually. It started with a real period of Aspire dominance. They were absolutely all over the title hopefuls, West Bromwich Albion, and then we heard that roar from Court A, and it was a bit of a... You could see the West Bromwich Albion heads go down a little bit. They suddenly looked a little bit disgruntled, and then that second one went in, and that was probably the loudest one of the lot, and there was a real moment of like, it's over here from West Brom, and that actually made them cut loose a little bit. West Brom since then have adopted a slightly more gung-ho attacking style. They've grown into the game a little bit more, but yeah, you could see a very obvious physical reaction to the Teesside goals on that court, and yeah, I mean, it's become a little bit of a dead rubber now because they feel that there's no way that Teesside don't carry this forward.
Yeah, it's hard to contemplate. I think having looked at this game, I have to say first and foremost that champions elect, that's the way it's going to be. Teesside have just handled this game, the pressure, the nerves, the anxiety with aplomb. They've been absolutely superb. And Villa Rockets, look, they've got some quality, they're dangerous, we can see that. Recently they beat them in the quarter-final of the John Good Group WFA Cup. So we know there's a bit of recent history here as well, but they have walked out in terms of onto this court, and they've got themselves in a position where they're just acting like champions, and they've taken the game to them, and I would agree, are they going to slip up and concede 4 goals? I just can't see that. They look like they've got the bit between their teeth, and yeah, it's looking like you say. You kind of want to keep that tension, but they've done such a good job in the first half. It's almost like it looks inevitable now.
Yeah, it feels like that tension has been killed slightly. We'll go over and do a little report for ourselves on Court B.
Brilliant, and Rick and I will join you back in the second half very shortly. Welcome back here to the second half of Teesside versus Villa Rockets. Teesside 3 goals to the good. Al Murray has just blown the whistle for the start of the second half. I'm joined by Rick Shaw, has been with me for the whole of the first half in it was a very tense arena. It looks like they're just strolling to the Premiership title right now, Rick.
Yeah, the nerves have definitely gone. There's no tension in the arena anymore. So yeah. Ed coming, plays it across the box. So Dean, have you been starting plans for next season yet? Have you got anything exciting lined up?
Yeah, well, there's loads, but in the fullness of time, Rick, and I will disclose a lot of that stuff. So I'll give people some highlights though, because that is really important in terms of matching what we've seen in terms of just such a brilliant season and giving people the encouragement that we are really working through a lot of things off the court as well. Somebody did say to me before I go into that, somebody said to me, are you looking forward to a rest? I can assure people there is absolutely no rest. We've still got stuff to play out for the season. Of course, this is the end of the Optegra Premiership season, but we've still got Club World Cup, WFA Cup final. We've got the Nations Cup in September before we then have the start of the season again. So it never ends really, but we've got the trustees and I and our leadership team, we've got some really exciting meetings to have and also some plans which are, in the fullness of time, we will release to the community. I think the community will love some of the innovations that we've got planned going through next season. And I should take that note, actually, I had a chat with Dan McClellan's dad just a few moments ago, and he was saying some very nice things, which always means an awful lot for us in terms of what we're doing to help produce this as a spectacle as well and showcase you brilliant players. But for me, it's a thank you to the players as well, because the quality that you're showing and have shown all season encourages us to keep going. And we'd be like that anyway, but there's that lovely little inspirational push around. If you guys are giving what you're giving, how much are we giving? And that's the bit we want to challenge ourselves on. So we love that. Oh, goal on the other court. So sorry, Rickon. That is a goal for Aspire. So West Bromwich Albion, they find themselves one goal behind, which is definitely not what they wanted. And those old foes are going at battle again, and it's a goal for Aspire. And Dan McClellan, I've just had confirmed by Charlie, was the goal scorer as well. So 1-0 to Aspire. That's exactly what West Bromwich Albion didn't want. I can just look across to our left, and for those that can't see that on stream, Rickon, there was a loud cheer from the Teesside fans. Of course there would be, because this is that competitive nature of the sport.
Yeah, I think Teesside, I think their families and friends know that it's just over 17 minutes to go.
Yeah.
You can see Mitch Tinkler there laughing and joking.
He looks happy, doesn't he?
Yeah, he looks very happy.
Still work to do, mustn't in terms of where these guys are, they can perhaps start to enjoy a little bit, but
Ed coming, Tyler Reed. Ed coming, Tyler Reed. Can you play back? Tyler Reed now. There's still a lot to play for though today, just because the title's over. We've got a good relegation battle later on today.
Well, and again, just while we got a moment, just talk through that. If you're happy for me to do that, Rickon, we got at the bottom of the table, the bottom 4 teams. It's got very tight between 3 of them. Unfortunately, Norwich cut adrift on just a single point with 1 game to play. But we have Nottinghamshire above that, so in the other automatic spot in terms of relegation, they're on 9 points with 1 game to play. West Bromwich Albion Throstles are on 11 points, just 1 place above them, 1 game to play. And then Middlesbrough 2 points above WFA Throstles with 1 game to play on 13 points. So that bit, as you correctly say, Rickon, is all that drama's to follow. because we don't know who's going to get that automatic relegation place. We also don't know who's going to finish in the playoff place to decide who plays against a team that you got to know quite well last season, Teesside Still. They're in the playoff place from having finished third in the Championship. So Middlesbrough, West Bromwich Albion, Frostles and Nottinghamshire, it's possible for those guys to still have an impact on their own season and have a massive say as to what the relegation picture looks like.
Yeah, I've been talking to a few of the Teesside Still players, and they've got 4 training sessions left before that.
Is that right?
Playoff game, yeah.
Yeah.
I think they've had a good season. They finished 8th last season, so they've definitely improved.
And I think as they keep reminding us, which I love the fact they do this, because that's part of developing that confidence. I think they're on an 18-game unbeaten run, aren't they?
Yeah, they only lost 1 game all season in the league. That is.
Was that to you?
It was on weekend 1, but then they had their revenge and beat us in weekend. Weekend 4. So
there we go. No, I mean, look, you look for when it's that kind of game, the playoff game between the third place team in the Premiership, which will be sorted out, as we just alluded to, by the close of play today, and then the team that's in the playoff position, Teesside Still, going out the Championship. Momentum will definitely be with Teesside Still, won't it?
Yeah, definitely. It'll be a good game regardless. But yeah, I think you've got to take the form of both teams going into it. Teesside Still been on an 18-game unbeaten run.
Yeah.
I would say that puts them as favourites, regardless who they're facing.
Be interesting, and again, that's another point towards the direction of this season is not done. Playoffs, cup finals, all sorts. That's what we love, don't we, Ricky? We don't want it to ever end, do we?
We don't, but we do realise that after a long season, we do need a break.
Oh yes.
Enjoy a few weeks off in the summer. I think we've got 6 weeks off, if I'm not mistaken, before we go back and have trials. Mitch Tinkler tries to find Ed Comyn. Dave Lewis trying to get past Tyler Reeve. Tyler Reeve showing all that experience that he's got. He wins his team a kick in, and Ed Comyn's going to take this. Substitution for Villa. Dave Lewis is coming off. Liam Lynch is coming on. What do you make of all the international players that we've had coming into our league this season?
Yeah, I'm sorry, I'm just going to literally put on that substitution so people have got that confirmed on the screen. So, Liam Lynch. There we go. Put this off. Yeah, sorry, Ricken. Yeah, so there's a couple of things on that. I think when we had Valentino Zagarelli came in and that was all administered, it did something really interesting, didn't it? So we know that because we stream every game, we know that we have the fortune to be able to do that, but also we're in a position where lots of eyes are on Power Chef at Win England all the time. So it seems to therefore open the floodgates a little bit for people wanting to play and test their talent in the National League, which, I love. And the one thing I've always got to balance that with from a leadership perspective, Rick, and I'm sure you'd completely respect this, is we must always protect the growth of English players as well in the league. So, for us, it's about how do we keep the competitive nature of our league and the fact that we've got so much more publicity because of what people are deciding to do in terms of coming over to play in it, which is fantastic, versus balancing that with the need to keep growing our English born players and giving them lots of opportunity. And for that reason, I think we're in a position where we've kind of had to balance that. So we have a rule, as you're probably aware, which is 1 overseas player per squad. And I think that's a good balance. That's a good way of administering that.
Yeah, I definitely agree. To only have 1 international player, it protects our sport, protects the players that play it, that put the training, the effort into training week in, week out. Because as you can imagine, the cost of players travelling internationally, is just too high, and it just wouldn't be fair Edge Common now. 180. Mitch Tinkler.
Ooh, off the post. That could have been his hat-trick. Sparrow still 1-0 to the good on the other court, and there was lots of raucous stuff going on, Rickon, in the other court. I couldn't quite work out what was going on. I think it might have been a clash of chairs. Free kick, penalty, whatever it was. It certainly wasn't a penalty, because I would have noticed that.
I think it was a high ball. Tyler Reid with a great shot there. Hamza mid-air. Tyler Reid's trying to dribble it around.
Just reading all of the comments that have come up on the stream, there is an awful lot of support for Teesside, as you can imagine. Lots of very positive, maybe a tad too early, but unlikely to be the case, congratulatory messages. And thank you to everyone that's listening. It looks like we've got quite an audience that's tuning into this one, and we certainly would have expected that to be the case, Rickon.
Yeah, everyone loves an underdog. You know, it's a great story to have. Common parades it round Liam Lynch, but Adam Murray's given a 2v1.
Just a quick correction in the, I said Mitch Tinkler had scored 2 goals. It was one of his goals was attributed to, unfortunately, an own goal to Hamza Madir. So, sorry, sorry Hamza. I'm going to have to give you that one as an own goal. Mitch, I'm also sorry, you're not on a hat-trick.
I don't think he'll care.
I don't think he will he?
One way or another.
I don't think he will.
Tyler Reid, Liam Lynch going at it. 2-1 given against Villa.
So, in just about regulation time, 7.5 minutes, there will be an explosion of noise in this arena, I think, Rickon.
Yeah, it's exciting.
And on court, it will be, I suspect, absolute carnage and chaos, with parents and carers and family members and all sorts of people just celebrating. Should we stay safe and at the side, Rickon? Or should we get in amongst it? What do you reckon?
I think we should get in and amongst it. There'll definitely be tears of joy at the end.
I can imagine there'll be an outpouring of emotion 100% on both courts for different reasons. That's the thing about football. There are winners, and unfortunately there are people that will be runners-up. This will be no different as we go through this.
And I was in tears last week.
Yeah, I think you did a few moments, didn't you?
Yeah.
You had a big smile on your face, I remember that. But you do not smile as much as, and I keep saying this, Hannah Hindley. I mean, A, does she ever stop smiling? And B, there's no way you could possibly smile as much as Hannah. She's over there to my right as we speak.
She's got a wicked sense of humour as well.
Has she really?
She has.
Ah, there you go. I don't know that side of her yet. She's been an amazing signing, hasn't she, for you guys?
Yeah, I think her coming into the squad is the difference between us winning the league, and that's a great goal by Ed Common. I think that goes down as an own goal.
I think Dave Lewis, unfortunately, sorry Dave, I think that's going to be attributed to yourself as an own goal. Yeah, I don't think I can. I'm trying to be kind to Mr. Lewis, but I don't think I can on that one. So we Teesside 4, Villa Rockets 0. And with about 6 minutes left, it now does have an outcome that we can almost say is guaranteed, Rickon.
Yeah, I think it's over now. Teesside now making their substitutions, making sure that everyone feels a part of this.
Yeah, that's a nice touch, I think. So just changing over, designated goalkeeper's jersey going on. They've got big smiles on their faces, haven't they, Rickin?
Yeah. Greg Baxter's taking his straps off. He knows that his job is done. The cheers in the crowd.
Yeah. He has, I spoke to him a little bit earlier, he has wanted this. He said to me in his own words, I've never got close to a sniff of this trophy. And, you know, for him, it's a lot deeper for someone like Greg in terms of not just about the game. He was a member of Seven Oaks for a considerable period of time. He then relocates and moves up north. He now bases himself in the northeast, so this will mean the world, and I suspect he will be one of those emotional individuals at the end of the game, and you completely understand that, and we'll go in, join in with that as well to send our congratulations.
Yeah, knowing Greg, I know he's wanted this for a long time.
I think I can even see from a distance some the emotion. Mitch, Greg, the back end there, thoroughly deserved.
Thought that was a goal there.
Yeah, I did as well. Bubba did well to keep that out, didn't he? Still 4 minutes remaining on the other court. I can see the clock. I've regulation time. Still 1-0 to Aspire. And that 1-0 becomes 2-0 because I can see that Rosie Hodgson has just literally with the back of her wheel. Chris Gordon just could not get back in time. Rosie Hodgson scores another goal and it's 2-0 to Aspire. We are well and truly over, but I want to take an opportunity to just give my commiserations, but also thanks to West Bromwich Albion for what the part that they have played in such an incredible title race. And you can, when you've got a team that's had to play like Teesside have had to play, let's be quite clear, Rickin, they've only had to play in that way because the reality is they've been pushed by West Bromwich Albion, and West Bromwich Albion came into this game week top of the Premiership. And they're going to end up finishing in second place, but the part that they've played in this amongst the other teams that came into this weekend with a chance of winning the title, what an awesome effort for those guys.
Yeah, no, definitely. This is what you want to see in sport. You want it to go down to the wire. If it's all done and over with after the weekend 4 or early on weekend 5. But I think that result for Aspire, it would mean a lot to them. You know, they haven't had the season that they wanted this season.
No, I was just looking actually. I think that, for them it will be about, can we at least secure third? I think that's the bit that will be in John Boulding and the team's mind to try and hold on to that. And, they haven't got complete, well, they have. So this result for them, providing they hold on to that, will mean that even with Newcastle and Leeds Chariots for games to play, they can't get near them. They'll be on 50 points. So ultimately Aspire, by winning this game, we've secured third place as well. So I think they'll be disappointed, like West Brom will be disappointed, Rickin, but again they can be proud of what they've achieved and the contributions in this title race.
Yeah, no, definitely.
So back on this court, with the clock is ticking. We literally have about a minute left. Fraction over that period of time over on the other court. We're 4-0 to Teesside here, and I think I can very much say this now as chairperson of the Wheelchair Football Association. Teesside are the Optegra 2024-2025 Premiership champions, and boy do they deserve it, Rickin.
Yeah, they've had a good season. I believe they've only lost one game. And Dylan Pearson with an effort.
And there we go. There is the final whistle. You can probably hear the place has erupted. That will be joined with people rushing onto the court in a few moments' time in terms of carers, parents and family members. I'll just say that again, Rickon. The Optegra 2024-25 Premiership champions, Teesside PFC. They thoroughly deserve this. They've had an incredible campaign. They have been pushed, as I just mentioned, to an extraordinary level by 4 other teams that went into this game week with a chance of winning the Premiership. But they thoroughly deserve it. My congratulations to everybody that's associated with the club. And first and foremost, the players who've put in such a sterling effort and ended up with the most incredible award, which is just fantastic to see. So well done, Teesside. Rickon, what an absolute pleasure. You will join them in the Premiership, Optegra Premiership, for next season. You must be excited about that and your own plans as well. But just sum up what we've just seen in Teesside's season for us, my friend.
Yeah, we've just seen an amazing unity there of several players coming together, creating a bond, creating a team. You can see Owen Swift there, who's really emotional. Greg Baxter's really emotional.
Yeah, I can see a lot of tears. I can see an awful lot of tears. So Rickon, I want to do the thing that I would always want to do in these situations, and that's wait for West Bromwich Albion to commiserate with them, but then also rightly to go and congratulate our Premiership champions. Thank you so much, my friend, for being with me on this one. It's a special moment when we get to commentate on games like this.
Yeah, no, thank you, Dean. It's been a pleasure to do this with you.
No problem, sir. And we'll see you all back a little bit later, but we've got a trophy lift to do pretty soon. See you soon.